There was nothing on the day of the inspection that gave me any indication that he was either A, incompetent, or B, just not really doing his job.
And this is telling us that we're losing massive amounts of heat.
We just assumed that he was on our side, and we bought the house.
He saw this, right?
Yes, yes.
What did he say about this? Because you were with him.
Nothing.
Nothing. What I think the inspector really was doing was nothing.
Jeff and Tina, first-time home buyers. I wanted to make sure they had a home inspector, something different that I'm not used to hearing. The real estate agent has their own home inspector all the time. It's part of their service. You don't pay extra. If you deal with this real estate agent, it's a free home inspection. The home inspector didn't say much was wrong with the house, but it didn't take too long till things started to go wrong. I'm here to ask questions, get answers, and I'm here to do a homes inspection. I'm gonna make it right.
We were in an apartment, and we were suffocating each other, right?
That was the whole reason that kind of set it off, was we needed more space, and it was like, to rent a 3-bedroom was so much money, we might as well just, be buying. Our kids are coming to an age where they want their own space. Being a back split, the upstairs, they had their own little space with their own bathroom. They've got the YouTube on or whatever have you, playing their music, and they're making up dances. And then on top of that, we also had the finished basement. It made us go, okay, this is gonna work for the kids. Our realtor, part of his fee was to include a home inspection. I came and I did it by myself with just me and the inspector. But it seemed to go good. He would see something, he would explain it to me, and I was asking him questions, and he was answering them.
He did make some recommendations, but it was pretty minor stuff, and the dollar value was minimal.
You must be Jeff?
That's me.
I'm Mike. Nice to meet you. Tina?
Yes, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Could I ask you to put your coat and shoes on and come on? I might as well start outside.
Yep.
The real estate agent that day is like, this is minor stuff, nothing to go back to the homeowner and renegotiate the price.
We just signed the papers, and we moved in.
Let's look around at your neighbors' houses, okay? So we see the house right over there. You see the black roof?
Yes.
It snowed last night.
Right.
So I step outside of my house, and I got about, this much snow on my whole roof.
Okay.
They're losing heat. That house isn't bad. They're losing heat. How can I tell? Because the snow's melting. See your roof?
Yep.
Yeah, right on the top there.
You're losing huge amount
Yeah,
of heat.
there's like no snow up there.
Almost no snow. That probably means there's not enough insulation in the attic.
That's
Think
crazy.
of the blanket on your bed. You have a sheet.
We have multiple blankets. My daughter actually slept with 2 blankets last night.
But imagine sleeping with a sheet.
Yeah.
Right.
It'd be cold,
It would
right?
be freezing.
That's what your house is doing. Let's go inside.
All right, yes. And this is our daughter's bedroom, the cold room, we call it.
More than likely, because I didn't see the snow on the roof here and over this room, you probably have the same thing, problem in the next room.
Right.
So what the difference may be is you're having so much heat loss on the whole back of the house is maybe you don't have enough airflow there. So now it starts to tell me about your HVAC, heating, ventilation, air conditioning that I need to look more into. And I'll see more when I get downstairs. Where's the access to the attic?
Right
The
here
front
at the
access
steps.
is just at the
Oh,
steps.
right there. See, that makes it nice and easy. Did he go in there?
He did. He even said, come on up the ladder, I want to show you. And he said, look at all the insulation. That's really, really good, and it's good insulation.
You saw a lot of insulations. That's what he's saying.
Yeah.
Sufficient insulation, sufficient venting. So I'm going to disagree with it based on what I see from outside. Totally until I see more, but I want to see what he saw, because in the report it said sufficient. In other words, he's given it 2 thumbs up. Your bedroom.
Right.
Somebody has gutted this room. I'm seeing new pod lights. I'm seeing pop screws, which tells me, based on the year of the house, this has been re-drywalled. Why do I see the bulk right there? Now, I can assume ductwork has come up.
I know it comes up through that back corner. I know it does.
How?
Because in the crawl space, all the venting goes into that corner, and it goes straight up.
So they rerouted it.
Right.
Okay, so now I'm really gonna take a look at this. So you did the new fan in this bathroom?
Right.
I'm actually feeling that. Good for you.
The inspector actually looked up in that one, took it off, and said, oh, it's not working, it's not hooked up, probably because it's old and noisy. And when we went to go replace it, there wasn't even a fan in there.
Yeah, there was no fan in it. And both.
So somebody pulled the fan out, the motor and fan is what you're saying?
Right.
Okay.
First day that we sat down or we moved in, I go to the washroom and my toilet bowl moved.
I went to go sit on the toilet, I went, woo!
It slid out?
It slid out underneath me.
That's usually not good.
No.
You know, I checked it and the bolts weren't attached. Like they were just dangling in their holes. It wasn't bolted down. And on the inspection, there actually even is a box that says bowl loose. And he never caught it.
Why do you have the register closed?
We're trying to just push heat other parts of the house,
Well,
to be
at least
honest.
you're using your imagination.
Yeah.
That usually does work, but you want that they should all be open, right? That's the way it goes. But so you have an unbalanced system, that's for sure. It's nice to see that you actually have the French doors so you can see people coming up and down. You don't knock them out on the way up and the way down. So somebody put in a suspended ceiling. Did your home inspector even touch the suspended ceiling tiles?
No.
Well, this is something that I really love doing, okay? Now, they don't want to do it because they don't want to damage anything. These are soft tiles and a flex tile, so more than likely it's not that far from the floor joist itself. It's real easy with the back of my hands, not to do damage, to lift that tile, take a quick look. Lift that tile, move it out of the way a bit. Little things that I want to look for is what's the electrical look like, what's the flooring look like, and just take a quick look. Doesn't hurt. Every once in a while, move a tile. Is that a heat register or a cold air return?
No,
It's
that
nothing.
goes into the furnace room.
Okay.
We moved in here, and the very first thing we noticed was our water tank. It was continuously running, and there was venting gases that you could smell, obviously, and they were just going around the house, and you could smell it, so we had to replace that immediately.
How did he miss that our water tank was broken? It literally fell apart in the contractor's hands that we had in to replace it.
I've seen a lot of tankless hot water systems. This looks pretty good. Where'd you tie into? Electrically, you tied into the furnace switch?
I mean, we did actually have the cash physically, but we had paid off stuff, like knowing that this was the water tank was our honeymoon.
So you do have plumbing on the outside wall. So somebody's cut strips of foam, which, by the way, if you have foam, it needs to be drywalled over. Was this like this?
Yeah, this
Oh,
was we've done nothing.
Okay, so that's another huge no-no, because you're in a furnace room. This is very flammable. He should have pointed this out right away. He should have said, get your freaking cold water pipes or hot water pipes off that wall, because it's right on the wall.
Wow.
Okay. Anything else to tell me down here?
We had to pull the dryer out, and there's a hole in the bottom of the wall, and the dryer plug-in is lying right there on the floor, and going right past it is the drainage for the furnace. We bought these washing machines, and these pipes still came up, out of the wall the way they do, but they weren't tied down. That could have shorted, that could have killed my kids, you know? So that was when we really started going, oh my gosh. Okay, now.
Right away in the back, I see that they changed all your ductwork, and no wonder it's cold upstairs.
Winter came, and the girls' bedroom was freezing. There was no hot air in there at all. You know, they're snuggled up in blankets.
There's the two boots that come off that'll probably get your, the two bedrooms upstairs, your kids' rooms.
Okay.
Okay, and they've changed it right from this point here. They put on flex line, which is a no. He saw this, right?
Yes,
What did
yes.
he say about this? Because you were with him.
Nothing. He didn't say anything.
Not a word.
No.
Every ounce of, extra income goes towards repairs. Not to say that stuff like that shouldn't happen, but it's just the stuff that he missed that really pisses me off more than anything.
Don't worry. I'm gonna go through it, and I'll bring it back. I'll tell you what I found, and I'll make it right.
You know, they're just little things, but little things add up, and we're afraid to, stumble upon that really big one that's gonna put us in some trouble.
The initial home inspection was a redundant process and a complete waste of my money. I know what it takes to make $500. This guy came in here for an hour and influenced us in buying a home that we probably wouldn't have bought.
Now, it's all perforated soffits, which is a good sign. The question is, based on the year, it used to be a wood soffit. Is there any holes drilled in there? Do we have air coming in the bottom, which we want to have, not like I'm seeing here with this. It's not how you do your exhaust pipes. That's attractive looking in the driveway, isn't it? Don't like that gas line that goes across the ground, though. It's just too close to the ground, too tight, no room for an expansion and contraction. It should be mounted to the wall and so high off the ground. And here's something I've never seen before. Now, is it okay to have the electrical off the house and on the fence? That's a really good question. That means that line's run underground. How deep is it run underground? That becomes an electrical issue. The air conditioning itself, both lines are also under the ground. How deep is it? Where does it go inside of the house? I don't see it coming above ground again, which means it goes underground and into the house. Is that a penetration point for water? Yes. Now, look at that, eh? See, I keep talking, what is this, a whirlybird season? Everyone's got whirlybirds. That house, this house, the next door neighbors. Must have been a sale on whirlybirds. There's our neighbors on the left. Almost all the houses in the neighborhood, including that house right across the street, all the snow is gone. We have snow on the roof on the left. We have no snow on the roof on the right, or almost no snow in the back of the house. So somebody's done something right on this side, somebody's done something wrong on this side. Great picture, actually. All right, that looks good. Bulkhead in the corner. That's where they've run the pipes up to upstairs. That's why one of them will go through the floor, underneath the floor, and in back into the kids' room. But why would they do that? Not logical. Why did they do that? If there was a center wall here, somebody's made some real big changes, and now I have a concern. A wall would have been right in the center. This would have been 2 rooms. They must have put a beam in the ceiling. They came up through the closet with the pipes, and it comes down underneath the beam and back up to get to the register on the other side. That's why they came down around that with the bulkhead. Now look downstairs, and now I'm going in the attic. So there's the 2 lines that come off the furnace. They even closed off one that come off the top of the main trunk line. The other 2 they picked up to go upstairs to run the 2 kids' rooms. We even have a kinked bend right there. This will go through the closet, the vertical bulk that I was talking about in the closet. All the way upstairs. One of them will run back, kick up in the room on the right. The other one will go over, comes underneath, back up through the floor, and exhaust up. So that means it doesn't get enough hot air. Second, if it's losing a lot of hot air to the attic, it makes for a very cold room. So here's the access to the attic. As our front roof ties into our back roof. So this is where the home inspector brought in Tina to take a look, and was really good because he's trying to show there's lots of insulation, but what do we see right from here? There's lots of insulation back there. There's not a lot of insulation right here. We could use a little bit of fixing of that insulation to equal it out. More than likely, this vertical wall right here is not insulated enough. We're seeing how much insulation is on the back of the door. This will be an area with a massive amount of heat loss. Like the biggest amount is in the back attic, which I need to look into a little more. There's no way this is correct.
Any walkway, paved driveway, 7 feet above.
Air conditioning running through the ground, electrical on the fence running through the ground.
Line can run underground. It has to be protected. It's got to run in a pipe.
It's just about getting what's wrong fixed, you know, and just knowing that it's safe. I mean, we have kids.
Okay, we have a pretty easy day, and I'll explain why in a moment. What I'd like you to do to start off with is no holes in the walls, and, well, I might as well just tell you. We found asbestos in the house, okay? Damon knows. So this is a bit of an issue. It means we can't punch any holes. It was a good call that I made to make sure check for asbestos in the plaster. It's a 1 to 5 ratio. It's a type 2. It does not require an air test after cleaning, but it does require that we call in our environmental company to pull it out. I'm going to have them do the full master bedroom, completely gutted, because I need to check structure and everything, which I'll show you more about.
All right.
I want you to take down the tile right across here. Let's neatly place them in a spot where we can put them back in.
Just so we're looking at what we're seeing above the ceiling here, right?
Yeah, let's pull down the drywall, because we can touch this. This is new. This drywall, this one here, actually pull that down for the hell of it, because that way I can see this side of the furnace. Take it right down at the corner.
Okay.
Okay, this is the pride and joy of the homeowner.
The washer and dryer?
She is in love with this, and she keeps the door open. She's very smart with it, so take it out gently, cover it up, okay? And the sink should come out easy. So if you get all this done, I'd be really happy. I'm just gonna go back in the attic, because I think I'm gonna try and crawl to the other side. I may do it myself.
If you can't get up there, you want me in there? I'll squeeze in
Yeah,
there.
because you two are gonna fit.
You want to do rock, paper, scissors? Not with you, though. You're not even included in this.
Always. Come on, rock, paper, scissors, right?
Okay. Yeah.
One, you two.
No, she wanted to go.
Oh, no. Get your hand up.
Ready?
1, 2, 3.
But what I'm seeing when I get to the point, it looks like it drops, I guess, to the other roof. It looks like insulation, stuffed into all the joints where maybe baffles should be, all stuffed in, and where I could only see so low, I couldn't see far down because of the way the roof is.
Yeah, getting down to the next room.
Yeah, I couldn't. It only looks
So
like
you saw
blocks.
an open span there?
Yeah.
But you could see the other.
I could see, yeah. I could see.
Okay, I'm gonna see that from the other roof then. I gotta find out where this heat loss is coming from. Well, it's definitely in this wall. There's my tie-in. So it's just sitting on top. I'm gonna lose it through the bathroom the way that's done. Okay, now I know where we're losing it. All the blown-in insulation is mounted in the center of the two attics, but very thin around the perimeter. Plus, that knee wall only has about an R12. Nice and simple. Very bad roof design, by the way. Not good for insulation, and it's not going to be good to try and fix this.
Oh, that's interesting. What a mess. Not the way to do insulation. Jeez. It's like peeling back layers of time here.
Probably not the best time to come in for you and look at the roof in the freezing cold. But like I was saying to the homeowners, look at all the roofs here.
Well, yeah, it's fairly obvious. The ones you can see that definitely have heat loss.
Every single house in this neighborhood has the same issue, including this one here. I'm also worried with the age of the home that we have beautiful perforated soffit, but that there's wood underneath and it's blocked off.
You know, we want to make sure we got the area from the soffit into the attic open, whether there's brick or wood blocking that. So make sure that there's baffles installed, getting the airflow in.
No insulation on the end. House is losing heat everywhere. I don't know, it looks pretty good. The hole in the floor is probably just the floor joists. Oh, that's brilliant. Hey?
Yeah, I know, I saw that.
Run all the ductwork on the end and have no insulation?
Yeah, well, plus they cut into them. Look at that. All of these cut right through the joist.
So you think the home inspector, what did I say? Move a tile, take a look. Just move a tile, take a look. Surprise.
So in this room is just your typical plumbing on outside walls, Holmes. Messy insulation stuffed on the other side of it in the wrong place.
We do have a vent stack and we have a drain. So somebody has made a change, because when I looked under the sink, I didn't see vent. It looked like the pipe went right down. So here's the issue. I may have to break in a small area. So let's have Martin look at this and let's make sure that when we have our guys in, the environmental guys, we may have to pull a cabinet and break a hole in the wall.
Yep.
But what a sloppy way of doing it.
No kidding. Not pretty, but you're right, not terrible,
I'm
just
looking
sloppy.
at the plumbing too. The sink is no longer here.
Yeah.
What we may end up doing is channeling the floor to that drain. So let's talk to Martin.
And running it through.
Okay, because I don't want that anymore.
Yep.
Air conditioning.
Comes in
right here.
back here.
Okay. Pull the cabinet, pull the drywall, please. All right.
Wow. Look at this. Look at the line. They ran right through the concrete.
So the line is to be 18 inches down, and actually it's not. So this line has to be in conduit as well.
Right, okay.
But what Gary was saying, that this can be in ground, but it must be in a conduit line so the ground doesn't grab it, break it, and freeze thaw.
Especially on soft copper. I mean, look at that.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's got to be protected, and insulated wouldn't hurt as well.
Right, okay.
So one thing I can't believe is that this has not leaked into the basement.
I know, I don't really see signs of it, though, eh? It's like I see signs of leaking somewhere else, but not there.
So here's the sucky part.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
Tell me. I can guess, but let's hear from the horse's mouth. Yeah, I knew it. So digging up the old AC line was easy. Now all we have to do is core a hole through the foundation wall, run new conduit, and run new lines right to the AC.
Gary,
Mr. Mike.
how's this?
Well, a couple issues. We got a gas flux connector that's in the furnace. It's an appliance connector. But the way they've put this in, I got a lot of vibration on that. And that's a flexible line. It concerns me because it may, it's only like a stainless steel type aluminum flex. It may break. Another gas issue I'm seeing here is the hot water tank or the tankless. There's no shutoff right at the appliance. There's one at the beginning of the gas pipe, but where they have it, it's very difficult to get to. You can't even really see it unless you're looking for it and looking really hard.
Okay, you already seen all the leaks. There's probably leaks galore and everything. You saw the ductwork underneath the crawl space.
Yeah.
You know what you're gonna be doing.
Yeah, I'll be ripping all that crap out.
I need to gut the whole room because I need to, inspect the structure to make sure it's fine.
Okay.
Here's my issue. Here's the problem that I have.
We both lie there at night and just kind of go, oh, God, like, please don't let there be anything else.
Hello.
Tina? Jeff?
Folks, how are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Good. Welcome home. Come on in.
Thought we'd do something different, sit and relax and yak for a minute.
You too.
Good to see you, bud.
Nice to see you.
You too.
Sir Jeff,
Mike.
kind of cool out there, eh?
It's freezing.
Oh, it's warmer in here. You see a picture of the outside of your house?
Yes.
Today ended up being a perfect day for me to confirm, and I took these shots earlier, because there's no sun. So there's no hot sun heating up the shingles on the roof, much like the asphalt on the road. And it's what it's doing is, because it's cold, it's gonna show me where you have heat escape. So I took a few pictures. All yellow is very hot. All black or blue is very cold. So you see the yellow on the ridge, you see the yellow on the front piece here, and right up across the other side of the ridge. You see the back part of your roof?
It's completely yellow.
What does that mean?
It's completely not
hot.
keeping any hot air in.
The big issue that I see is your heat loss is in the front. If somebody's come in with just a chute and fired up a bunch of blown-in insulation. But because they didn't displace it properly, it's in the center. So we're having all kinds of leakage on the outside wall area coming through the ceiling and getting up into the attic. So heat from the house escapes into the lower attic, and then it travels up to the rear attic, which is right above those two bedrooms. That's why the snow melts on the roof. So let's go downstairs and I'll explain more in there. But wait to see what I gotta do to fix this.
Oh, boy.
So rather than taking all the tiles down, I just wanted to look at the floor, and you can see that to try to put up spacers to help stop the squeaks, but the spacers, you need to glue it and screw it, not just nail a little piece of wood up. As I follow down to this side here, it was kind of important. Remember I talked about how a home inspector could move a tile?
Yep.
I want you to look right over here. Look up.
Okay.
Okay.
So we see ductwork?
Oh my God.
What did they do?
They cut into the joist to
They
put
cut
that
it.
in.
Very good. Do you think that's allowed?
No.
Is that foolish or what? Let's go into the furnace room after you. We know for sure there's no shutoff on the gas. Code says we have to have a shutoff. We do have a shutoff by the furnace, but it's in such a hard to get place, the easiest thing to do is to put a shutoff right here. That's where you want to shut it off if ever there's a problem. The electrical that they tied into is right into your furnace. Not allowed. These are professionals you supposedly hired. They did it all wrong. Not to mention home inspector missed the gas line that runs to the backyard, the air conditioning running underground. I can go on about what he's missed. Wait till I tell you what's next. Let's go upstairs. Okay? Come on.
Our inspector should have had enough knowledge to catch enough things to go, you know what, this might be a risk to buy. Like, things have got to change.
We know there was a wall in the center. So when someone took the wall down, they did something half decent. They put a pocket beam inside and they tied the floor joist into the beam. That way there's no bulkhead or anything in the middle of the room, which shows they divided it. So, something I need to do. I need to gut the whole room.
Okay.
Here's my issue. Here's the problem that I have. It's a good thing that I made the call to say, let's do a check on the asbestos ratio in the plaster, because anything before 1980 has a possible chance in the country here that there's a 1-to-5 ratio in the plaster. You have it.
Okay. Our home inspection was worthless, really. It was worthless, and I'm sick to my stomach, really.
We're bringing in an environmental company. They're going to gut this room. It's a type 2. It's not a type 3. Type 2 is still bad. It means I can't touch it. It means it's got to be cleaned out by professionals. It's got to be brought to an environmental cleaning area. It can't just go to a dump. But it means now everything that I got to open, the kitchen, in here, and anything else I got to touch to do with the plaster, it's in the plaster. It's not in the drywall. They got to do.
We both come from renting all our lives, and, you know, we wanted the kids to have, like, the backyard, the nice house, and because our inspector was not knowledgeable enough to, or whatever, to find everything that was wrong, we've been living in a house for a year and a half that's not safe for our kids. So. I guess we thought that maybe he'd come in and maybe there'd be a little bit extra, but wow.
Everything else doesn't even matter. It's the asbestos.
So, you're telling me we have a type 2 in the house?
Yes, they found the asbestos in the tape joints here.
Right, so we're just talking about in the joint compound, not in the drywall itself.
No, the drywall itself has no asbestos. It's in the compound itself.
Right, so just tell me the process. What are you going to start with?
What we would start with is we'd go inside after it's all prepared.
Yeah.
We'd go inside and the guys would seal up any of the vents, get negative air pressure going, negative air machines, suits and respirators, and then go to work.
We have a lot of work to do in this house, so we're only going to remediate the areas that we're actually working on. And in the future, the homeowners can have any other asbestos removed if they're going to renovate. Even though a level 2 abatement does not need an air test, we're going to go ahead and get an air test anyway, just to ease everyone's mind. Then we can continue with all the work. Boys, let me give you a quick update on what's happening today, okay? We have Steve Graves here today outside. He's taking down all the trough, which is filled with ice, so be careful out there. He's also going to start fixing the venting today. He's going to tackle quite a bit. We also have Martin here today. So I have to take down the walls in the laundry room. Martin has a lot of stuff to do behind that wall, so the faster we remove it, the faster he gets to work, okay? Right. For us, want to fix the structure on the floor today, where they ran the ductwork, so let's get your tools, let's move some stuff around, get trades in here and get to work, okay, guys? Good. Let's go. We also have to get all this styrofoam out, okay? Right through to that room there, right through to here.
So when I did my initial inspection, I noticed that the kitchen drain is going into the wall and then it drops right down and towards the basement. Once this wall is actually exposed, what I see is that this drain drops over here, and then it does pick up a vent system, vent line here. However, that's not the code. That water from the kitchen drain will actually pick up substantial momentum through this drop, and before it hits the vent, it will have so much momentum, it may actually suck the water out of the trap. By code, what I should have is a TY that is installed higher. Obviously, I'm going to replace this universal coupling and make sure things are done properly, and I'm not going to get any more sewer gases.
We're just finishing up with the eaves trough installation. The existing eaves troughs were old, galvanized, starting to rust away, starting to leak. The original downspout location was here in the driveway, went tied into the weeper, so we've new seamless aluminum eaves trough, 5-inch. The original troughs were 4-inch galvanized. Being a larger size, much better for controlling the water. So we've re-sloped the eaves, and now we're going to drain out to the front, out on the lawn. Just better management of controlling the water.
So 85.5 on the other one, okay? Next order, please.
Well, the guys just finished putting in the heating runs. We got the heating run coming up, going to the upstairs bedroom. The old lines used to have 2 lines coming up and then came under the beam. So to fix this issue, what we've done is we've separated, put one on each end of the room. Second issue was those flex lines they ran. Terrible job. They weren't sealed, a lot of leakage, squished up again into this area. So we got some solid pipes all taped up, nice and sealed, no air leakage. We're gonna improve that airflow up to those bedrooms.
So we have a lot of work to do before Tina and Jeff can get back home. Right now, I have Rob and MJ laminating all new joists onto the old joists that have been cut out. We have Northwood in right now. They're doing all the new gas lines for the barbecue and for the furnace lines. And we have Solutions here, just finishing up the wiring. After this is done, we're ready for spray foam.
Damon had asked me to relocate the dryer and the washing machine. The dryer was an easy one to do. Washing machine wasn't dedicated. So what we've done is I've actually eliminated it off the old circuit, ran a new line for my washing machine, and at the same time, because this is classified as a laundry room, I'm allowed to pick up the plugs that are in this laundry room off the same circuit. So what I've done is, this is for the washing machine, and I've added an extra outlet here for the homeowners, because they have to do any ironing or anything like that. The other issue was, Mike had mentioned that the tankless hot water wasn't on its own circuit. It was tied in with the furnace. So what we did is we eliminated it off the furnace, and we ran a brand new dedicated circuit from the panel to the hot water tank.
We inspected the attic, found the insulation wasn't up to par, so we've removed that. The attic is a back split. The upper level is a pretty tight situation, so we've got the guys up there working rather diligently in the tight spot. Spray foam insulation in the attic will guarantee an air seal. There's no vapor barrier up there right now, so what we're going to do is we're going to spray foam the deck up to the venting and the knee walls to complete the air seal, so you got no air leaving the home through the attic. Once the spray foam's done, and get a complete air seal up there, the guys will come down. We're going to put R20 in the walls, air sealing in all the exterior walls in this room, and some of the exterior walls in the basement as well.
We have to open up the kitchen wall in order to fix the plumbing, and I cannot match this tile again. So what that means is I'm replacing all the backsplash. Downstairs, we have Martin scoping the drains and fixing the condensation line to the furnace.
I ran a video camera through the sanitary line, and I discovered that the severe buildup of grease and debris is caused by inadequate maintenance. Also, another issue I had was I had a condensation line from the furnace, which was actually extended to the floor drain above ground. The best solution here was to excavate and upgrade the floor drain to PVC material, and then bring the condensation lines properly below grade to prevent any leakage or spill on the concrete floor.
Damon had me come in because apparently this room was a disaster, so the old floor had to come out. So he's replacing it with this floor, which looks like a traditional floor from the top, but it's actually a solid sawn material, which means it's got different substrates. So you have the top layer goes like this, And then the middle layer, you see the slats are running perpendicular. It's also oak. And then the bottom layer, it runs again perpendicular to the middle. So as it expands and contracts, it has the stability. So it's a really nice product.
So this is the toilet that's loose, and basically all it is, it's a broken flange. No one's ever bothered to fix it. So what Adam's gonna do, he's gonna get a flange repair kit, which basically just helps re-secure the flange back down to the floor, and he is done.
We removed the existing roof vent from this area. The roof vent itself is just a standard roof vent that's not actually meant or designed for this application. So here we have our 4-inch exhaust coming from the kitchen. This warm, moist air is sort of partially coming through the vent and also partially affecting the attic, getting into the attic space, and we're seeing it stain and mildew. But the more permanent solution will actually attach and seal a collar to this pipe. And then using a proper exhaust vent, which actually has a damper or flapper in it, so that when the fan gets powered, this flapper will open and actually exhaust the air. When the fan's not on, the damper will drop and prevent cold air from falling down the pipe and entering into the house. This upper roof is actually a separate attic space than the lower roof behind us. So it's vented separately, in other words. So it's all right having vents here and vents there. The only problem with this area is we have 3 different types of vents that are basically working against each other. We have this turbine-style vent that's actually mechanically operated. The wind powers it and helps draw air up. The problem is we know the soffits are blocked for an intake. So where this vent is actually getting its air from is these other 2 vents. You're just circulating the top portion of this attic. We're not actually clearing any moisture or heat issues at the lower portions of the roof, and that's often where we'll see mold or mildew build up. So, removal of these 2 vents, replace some plywood sheeting, bit of new shingles, and making sure the soffits get opened up, this attic will perform properly.
Joey, I heard you found something else here, buddy.
Unfortunately, I did.
What'd you get?
Well, if you can see up here, you see where the lock ring is on that pipe where the service wires are coming in?
Yep.
Where you can see that somebody's taken the punch out one size too big.
Oh, it's not grabbing the panel.
So, we're gonna replace this panel. It can be as simple as me just popping that out, putting a couple of donuts. Basically what a donut is, it's an oversized washer.
Right.
But the other issue we have here is we got too many circuits now in this house.
Right.
The best thing to do, we'll rip this out, put a new panel, make it expandable.
We're at 0 hour, my friend.
This, 4 hours is done.
All right. It's reveal day, and I think they're gonna be very happy.
Tina, nice to see you again.
Hey, Jeff. Mike.
See ya.
How you doing?
And Jeff.
Well, yeah. People get us confused all the time.
Just take a look up, Steve. I love this guy. Not only did he make sure we had proper ventilation come in the attic, which I'll talk about later. New eavesdrops, downspout out to the front. You wanted the hot water heater, the tankless. It is now to code. It's completely insulated. It's not pretty, but it is that. If we could have put it somewhere else, we would have.
Right. Looks
but
way
it's the most
better.
logical spot, and yes, now it's up to code.
Yeah.
We've also removed the dangerous gas line and ran it on the inside of the house and then back out beside the barbecue to a quick connect valve.
I wanted to check the line for where the air conditioning came in. You remember that it was all run underground? Yeah. They dug it all up. They put it in a sleeved conduit, making sure it's watertight in the foundation and up to code. We just had the ESA guy, Electrical Safety Authority, come in and pass the panel. Oh, new panel? Let me show you.
All righty.
All right, let's just bring you into the kitchen. We'll talk. But you have a new backsplash. That's minor, but that's the guys saying, okay, we got to dress this up. Now, all this had to be pulled out. You know that. We had to bring in our wonderful guys from the abatement company to pull out the asbestos in the plaster because we had to gut things. This was another area they had to do.
Okay.
All the plumbing's fixed in here. This cabinet fell apart. You got a brand new cabinet, refaced it, new sink, new taps. New
Very nice.
range.
Yes, very nice.
You know what? I'm really pleased with the finish. I'm more pleased about, because you know me, I'm about what's behind it all. It all looks good. You know, when it comes to the attic, it was one of the hardest attic zone areas we had to deal with. We did a 1-inch butter coat of the wall-tight eco right to the front, to the back.
Wow.
And getting in those spots was the hardest. Buttering that and then putting in the blown in on top of that. Now, you heard me talk about the blanket on the bed, and that's exactly what we did. We put a beautiful blanket on your bed, and that's why it's so warm in here. We're not letting the heat out. It's actually holding it.
Oh my God.
You know, it's the little things. I love the little things.
Oh my God.
Now remember, this room was gutted. Okay, this was done by our guys because the asbestos is in the plaster. Your closets were opened up. The ductwork was rerun. The ductwork was rerun in the vertical bulkhead. New floor, new trim, new pod lights, new electrical. This whole area, again, wall-tight eco, was sprayed in the wall. I love it. Again, you're gonna find this really nice and warm in here because it should be done this way.
All the stuff that he was saying, just in this one room that had to be fixed, it was a little bit, holy jumping.
Nice and cleaned up. I made sure that I had them remove the styrofoam. Fixed up not only your vent lines, your exhaust, but all your gas lines, all the electrical problems that we had in here.
Okay,
So
nice.
with that, making sure like we did your bedroom, like we did the 1-inch butter in your attic, we did the wall-tight eco spraying across the wall here, close it all in using mold-resistant drywall. Everything we use is mold-resistant, zero VOCs, very environmentally friendly. And it's not just for the environment, it's for your environment. It's for you guys.
Ooh-wee.
All right, this is nothing spectacular, but it's about, again, what we did.
Way prettier.
We did not scratch or damage your washer and dryer. There was huge things that, if you notice, the draining floor is proper. Everything is run into it, so it no longer comes out tripping hazard, water hazard. All this wall was pulled, making sure that we use blue wood, that we use mold resistant, that we have spray foam once again.
And you gotta remember, all the plumbing was against that wall. He had to bring all that plumbing to the front of the wall because we spray foamed in behind it. So we actually have the plumbing on the right side of the insulation now.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, I work hard for my money, like everybody else, and I felt like I got shafted by my inspector. Mike made it beyond anything I could expect. I'm gonna have a good night's sleep tonight and gonna move forward from here.
Think about the ductwork for a second. Everything down here had to be rerouted from across here, over and up, pulling out all the old. So not just look at that ductwork, look at this here, again, the exhaust and the fresh air outside. Just HVAC alone was huge money. Yeah. Huge money.
Can imagine.
You bring them all in, they all care about what they do, they like you because you're good people, we like you.
I know I am.
Friends.
You're in trouble.
Oh my God, Mike and the crew are just amazing. There'll never be words to thank him and let them all know like how much we appreciate that they came and they helped us out. Like, thank you is just not enough.
Thank you for dinner.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
We're embarrassed that we're actually on this show. No, but I'd rather not be on the show. I'd rather have my inspector come in here and do his job, and maybe have Mike come in here and say, oh, there's nothing wrong with this house, and have the anticlimactic episode or whatever, right?
I'd rather not be on the show. How do I top that?